The UFC 319 middleweight title bout between Khamzat Chimaev and Dricus Du Plessis will be remembered as a masterclass in one-sided domination. Khamzat, weighing only 183 pounds, beat 185 Dricus in the most dominantly frustratingly humbling way. Khamzat bullied Dricus, smeshed him for 5 rounds. This fight that dismantled pre-fight narratives and reinforced Chimaev's place among the sport's elite. In the build-up, the central storyline was clear. Could Khamzat's ferocious heavy wrestling style sustain itself over 25 minutes against a champion renowned for his awkward pressure and deep cardio resilience? Du Plessis had weathered storms before, outlasting elite opponents like Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya, and many expected that if he could survive Chimaev's early onslaught, the momentum would tilt in his favor during the later rounds. But from the opening seconds, it became evident that this was Chimaev's night. Within 7 seconds of the first round, Chimaev secured his first takedown, setting the tone for what would become an unprecedented display of positional control. Over the course of 5 rounds, he completed 12 of 17 takedown attempts and amassed over 21 minutes of ground control time, a staggering statistic in a 25-minute contest. The strike count told an equally lopsided story. Chimaev landed a record-breaking 529 total strikes to Du Plessis' 45, smothering the South African with relentless, suffocating pressure. Though most of these strikes were not fight-ending blows, the sheer volume broke the champion's rhythm and eroded his options. Du Plessis repeatedly attempted to reset on the feet, but each foray into striking range was met with a perfectly timed level change. His usual weapon, an unorthodox blend of unpredictable angles and attritional pace, was neutralized by Chimaev's ability to anticipate and counter before any sequence could develop. By the 3rd round, the champion's frustration was visible. By the 4th, resignation had begun to set in. Even in the 5th, when Du Plessis found a brief burst of energy in the final minutes, Chimaev remained composed, stifling any hope of a comeback. When the final horn sounded, the scorecards read 50-44 across the board. The boos from some in the Chicago crowd reflected their distaste for the heavy wrestling nature of the fight, but they could not overshadow the scale of Chimaev's achievement. He had not only claimed the UFC middleweight belt, but had also dismantled the lingering myth of his suspect cardio, maintaining a high-output grind against one of the division's most durable champions. For Du Plessis, it was the first loss of his UFC career, a stark reminder of the stylistic challenges that wrestling specialists present. For Chimaev, it was the cementing of a narrative shift. No longer just the terrifying first-round finisher, but a proven 5-round champion with the ability to adapt, endure, and dominate from the opening exchange to the closing bell. This was more than a title change. It was a strategic and psychological statement. In outlasting the champion in the very area where critics predicted he would falter, Chimaev didn't just win the belt. He rewrote his competitive identity. He became the 3rd to win a UFC middleweight championship with an undefeated record. Khamzat Chimaev said he is going to smash everybody, and this is just the beginning.